Good evening. It's been a little while, but welcome to episode 5, I think, of Retro Game Revival Presents Mod Cons. For anyone that's new, this is our outlet to talk about modern gaming and all the sort of new stuff and news that's going on in modern gaming, because despite being retro fans, we are also fans of modern gaming as well. So, there's lots and lots and lots of things to talk about today. So, let's go round and see who is with us. We have the usual people that join us for this, which is Mr. Blunners.
Hello, all right?
Oh, good, my friend. We have
No
Mr.
delay.
Triangle Face Tim. Yes, no delay.
Hello.
And joining us, I think, for his first, is this your first time on?
Yeah,
Mod
this
Cons?
is Poppy Cherry.
It's
Off my
Mr.
cherry,
Dorber.
Greetings. Yeah, very excited. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Very excited.
Excellent stuff. Everybody all good? Everybody enjoying the sort of slightly better weather we've been having lately?
Oh, I'm loving
Yes.
it.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
off,
got a week
so-
off, so I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Beautiful, mate. Work isn't quite the same without you at the moment, mate. So
No, probably better, I imagine.
you're missed. You're being missed, so you're all good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Let's jump in with the first topic that we give everybody when they're here, and that is, what are you playing? Look at these new features Blunner's found there. Look at that. That can scroll along the bottom there while we're chatting away. Excellent. So let's start with Mr. Blunners. What are you playing at
Oh,
the
sure.
moment?
Okay, so I've got quite a lot to go through. So,
Okay.
first turn of the year, I got Fire Emblem Engage. I didn't know they were bringing another one of these games out. I thought it was just going to be one of these like Hyrule Warriors games, like they
Mhm.
brought out before, which I wasn't too bothered about. But when I saw it was actually like, it's not the follow-on from Three Houses, but it's like the same, I was like, I've got to buy that. So I picked this up. It's it's basically like it's kind of like turn-based. I know Dorbs won't like it,
Ugh.
but it's very strategic. So it's like a strategic kind of game. I've literally just finished, when I finished Mario and Rabbids, it's
Mhm.
kind of the same. It's kind of quite similar, but I had to put that down because Metroid Prime physical release came out. I wasn't bothered about digital. As like you said,
Yep.
you've got to have it with Nintendo, flicking them online switches on and off. Right? They want to. So all them games you've bought, if everything goes offline, then that's it. Bye bye forever.
Yep.
I had to drop this, and I am right near the end now. Last night I picked up, I think it's the last suit. Is it like the phase-on suit? So I'm right near the end. I've got all the weapons. I've got all the power-ups. I'm literally just doing what you do with Metroidvanias, and that is just sneaking around, making sure you pick up like hidden missiles, because you get like an X-ray visor, trying to find every little piece before I go and take on that final boss. But
Mhm.
this was one of I'm so happy that this came out, because I went back and played it on the GameCube, and where you don't have the luxury of the dual joysticks like we do nowadays, it was a bit of a pain in the ass. I did actually download it for my Steam Deck it's called with the analogs that work on it, and it does make
Yeah.
such a difference. And lastly, the other game I'm playing, which I got 2 games for my birthday, but one of them I haven't started yet. First game I have started, and that is the God of War.
Oh,
Ragnarok.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
like you said,
Nice.
it picked up all the awards last week, didn't it? In the Game Awards in
Mhm.
England, and you can see why. Unbelievable. Follows on from the last story. Little bit of I would say I'm about 15 hours in, I reckon, maybe.
Mhm.
And it's now like you're doing little secret missions with the son. So like he's like sneaking off without him knowing. So
Yeah.
very good. Literally like playing a movie. It's got all the ray tracing, all the HD buttons on that one. And the other one, which I haven't even touched yet, I only got it because I know it'd be worth a bit, which Nintendo games don't literally drop value, and that is
Mhm.
the remake of Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. One that me and my
Nice.
daughter will play, 2-player, but it is know that these games, they're like, give it 10 years, they'll be worth a lot more than what they are now. So
Yeah.
I've got other stuff as well, arcade news, but I'll keep that for Evercade. But yeah, that is what I'm currently playing. I'm switching between Metroid Prime when people are on the TV, when everyone's gone to bed, God of War I'm
Yep.
playing until I'm falling asleep because I'm literally 3 in the morning and it's like, oh, better go to bed. It's
So
that good.
didn't you get? I know you said you were going to talk about it later, but didn't you get another birthday gift as well?
Yes, I will. I'll speak about that on another show.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
Daub's trying to put you on the spot there.
The next one's come in.
No, I did hear you say you're going to talk about that on a different show. But
Yeah.
Awesome. Excellent. So you've got some really good games on the go at the moment. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to clear the decks for when Breath of the Tears of the Kingdom comes. When that comes, it's
Yeah.
literally game over. Because I remember I completed it first time round, and then I was watching my son because my son played it, and he was only about 7 or 8 at the time. And I was like, I don't remember doing that. I don't remember doing that. And then the DLC came out, and I went back and I spent another like 40 hours in it doing all this stuff I didn't even do the first time round. Unlocked a motorbike and everything. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So yeah, like 2 different games. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Really, really weird.
Okay. Right. So let's go to Mr. Daubs. Let's switch it up. Let's go around in a clockwise direction. So, Mr. Daubs, what are you currently playing?
I am still playing this little cracker, Arcade Paradise. Absolutely brilliant game. Nearly got the platinum, but it's becoming very hard because you've got to do specific things on specific arcade games, and they're unbelievably hard. Like one of them, you've got to get to, I think, level 40 to get a trophy, and I can do level 5, and that's it. Some of them are ridiculously hard. But yeah, Arcade Paradise, very, very good. Thoroughly recommend it. I know Rob Taylor's asked a question. If you can get this, Rob, get it. Very, very good. I've got to the point now where you start off with a laundrette, and then you can build up the laundrette and get some arcade, build a little bit of an arcade to it, and then build up the arcade. I don't want to spoil it too much, but yeah, you can buy loads of arcade machines and then make loads of money. So I've just got a trophy where you need 250 grand in your safe. So I've just got that trophy, which is quite a difficult one to get. I've got about 500,000 now, but I've just got to go back and try and get some of the.
So it reminds me a bit. Is it like theme park kind of thing? Trying to set up your own, obviously your own arcade.
Yeah, similar. Yeah.
Similar.
Yeah, no, it starts off. It's a bit boring because you start off as a laundrette and you've got to do washing, and it's just like. But there is a cheat you can use, and you get a trophy for it as well. But there is a cheat you can use where you get more money for doing washes. I think you normally get like $75, but you get like 150, I think it is. But yeah, if you can use that cheat, it's a bit quicker. But very good game. Thoroughly recommend. Do you want to do some pickups? I've got some pickups.
Go on, hit us with some pickups. What have we got? What has you been picking up?
So I know people like pickups with a story, so I've got a couple of stories for these. So oh no, they fell out. So I've got another world and flashback.
That's broke.
Excellent. Yes.
Good
Not
games.
broke.
Very good games.
What you get with it is these little bad boys.
Oh, nice little postcards.
So, yeah, and these games I had on the Amiga. Another World is it's coming out again. Another World is on the Amiga 500 Mini as well.
Yeah.
Very, very good games.
I spent a lot of time on Flashback, but I never got on with Another World. I just couldn't figure out what you're supposed to do in the little prison bit near the start. Like it took me ages to get past the first little bit. Then I finally got to the prison. Yeah, it took me ages to get past that, and then I finally got into the prison bit, and then just kept getting killed. I have no idea what to do. Lost the patience with it.
So yeah, had that. Now I remember having Flashback on the Amiga, and I had 2 versions of it because I had a version. Remember Ash from Alien, where he says, where he's got the milk spewing out of his mouth, and he says something. I can't remember what he says, but one of the versions I had that voiceover at the start of the intro.
Okay.
And another version didn't, so I'll have to see if I can dig those out. Another pickup, Beyond the Still Sky.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And it's a really nice pack actually, because it's actually a little still case.
Very nice.
Oh, there's a code. Better hide that.
Collectors.
Hide the code.
Wow.
Is that like a updated version of the game? I presume it's on PS5.
I think so. Yeah. I think it's unupdated beneath the Still Sky.
Yeah.
But yeah, very good. And I've just realised.
Is that Beyond the Still Skies? That's a follow up to it, is it?
I think so. But I just realised on the back it's written in French. So. Oh no, it's French, Belgian, Italian, so I can learn some languages while I'm playing this. That's good. Next one, Turtles.
Dude,
very good.
yes.
Yeah. I haven't played it. Yeah,
I've
I need to
platinumed
get
that.
Looking forward to playing that.
Oh,
That is a
did you get it
difficult
on Switch or
platinum.
PS5?
That's
I got it
PS5.
on.
Yeah,
I
I
did
want
mine on
that as well,
PS5.
Bugsnax.
Bugsnax. This is
Yes.
from.
Yeah.
We did Ash Millman. We had a chat about it, so
Yes.
I've got that, and I've got the version with the
Such a good
field
game.
guide as well.
Yep. It's
So that's
such a good game, man. You need to get on that.
Hunt Down.
Yeah,
Now,
also,
this is
fucking
still
awesome game.
sealed. I'm going to keep this sealed because I've actually got the digital copy, which costs about £3 on PSN on the PlayStation Store. So I'm going to keep that one as sealed.
Yep.
So that won't
Excellent
come out.
game.
Finally,
So good.
Yeah, look, I haven't played it yet, but I think Ali recommended it as well. And finally, last but not least, got the Ghostbusters.
Oh, dude, you got to get on that immediately so that we can start teaming up.
Still sealed, not unsealed it yet.
Wow, I was
Not
going to
played
say
it
that
yet.
looks.
But
Again,
yeah,
I'm
God, you got a bit
really
of a
close to
backlog there,
platinum on
Dog.
that.
I have.
Yeah, that's a lot. Lots of pickups. That is.
These are only just some of them. I've got a couple more, but yeah, anyone thoroughly recommend that. Really good game.
Okay,
and it's about £20 as well.
Excellent. That's a good selection of games. And some great...
Also, I platinumed Mayo 3 on Saturday. Took about half an hour. Took about half an hour of button bashing, but I got the platinum for Mayo 3. So I've got each of the platinums for those 3 games now. So
excellent,
good, exciting times. Yeah,
excellent. So you've got some good games coming up as well. So fantastic stuff. Excellente. Mr. Tim, what have you been playing?
So I've been playing quite a few VR games. So I managed to pick up a few different VR games at a good price because they had a few bundles on and some of the sort of flash sales on Steam. So I picked up quite a few different games. I'm playing through, just looking at my side here, make sure I called the right thing. So I played through, got a couple of puzzle games that are pretty good. Got The Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets. I think that to complete took about an hour to do the whole thing. So it's not a long game, so it's quite a short experience. That's quite a fun little puzzle game. So you kind of look over the scene and you can interact with bits in the scene and things react in different ways. You've got to try and find all the animals in the scene. And there's like a little storyline that plays over the top of like a voiceover. But that's quite a fun little game. And then very similarly had A Fisherman's Tale. That was quite a fun one to do because it was all about your perspective. So you're a fisherman in a lighthouse and there's a model of the lighthouse in the room. And when you take the lid off the model, the lid of your lighthouse comes off and you can look down into the model and see yourself, and you can look up out of the model and see a version of yourself. And you have to pass things to yourself to change their size. So there's one point we need like a small hat. So you get, you go into you put the hat on the shelf and you look at the model and then you pick the model version of the hat up and then you have a little version and then you put a little version of a hat on this crab. And then there's bits where you need to like get something to be, so where you pass it up to yourself, you have to lift it up above you, and then the big version of you comes down and picks it up. It's really weird to see, but it's a really clever mechanic. And again, that didn't take too long to play. I kind of did that in one sitting. Only problem with that one was there's a few collision problems where like I kept on dropping things and you couldn't pick it up properly, and the controls didn't work as well as they should, which took away from the enjoyment of the game a little bit. But other than that, I would say it's pretty good. It's worth checking out. I then played, I think some of these games have been out for a while, so a lot of people might have already played these, but I played Until You Fall, which is quite a nice roguelike game.
Okay.
Go out there with like dual wielding swords and just keep killing enemies until you can't go any further and get some power-ups and start again. That was really good. The really, really good one, I've been playing, I think, I'm not sure how you pronounce this, is Sarantino? I think it's cool. It's like you're a cyborg ninja type character. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Mirror's Edge. And you're like an assassin and you go out and fight people, but you have like, you can either dual wield guns or dual wield swords. It's quite a workout. You can do like a sliding jump. If you jump and then crouch, it detects you crouching. You have to like slide along the floor and then you can like slice people and you get style points for like doing fancy kills. So it could be quite, it's very hard though. It's really, really difficult. And then, played a really good game, actually. Again, I did this in one sitting. It took me probably about 6-7 hours. There's a game called The Wizards Dark Times. I think it's a follow-up to another Wizards game. And it's definitely worth checking out. If not for nothing else, just the mechanics of how you control the game. So there's a whole bunch of things, like to cast a fireball, you have to hold down the button on your controller and then turn the controller right way up, and then like a fireball appears in your hand. And to cast different things, you have to like, there's one to get a bow and arrow. You have to hold your arms out to the side, press the buttons, and then cross your arms across each other, and then you're holding this bow and arrow, and then you can use it like the motion controls. So that's a really fun game just to do the different magic and learn spells as you go.
Mhm.
And then the last one I've just started. So I went on to Rhaegar's channel for VR Worlds, and we did a climbing world where we had to climb up this huge rock. So we did that for a VR chats episode, and I quite enjoyed doing the climbing. And then I saw this game. It's called Beanstalkers or Beanstalker. And it's like an indie game, and you're climbing up a beanstalk, and you have like these little grappling hooks, and you just got to like keep climbing the beanstalk, and then you can do some crafting and fight enemies. But that's been really good fun, actually. I've only just started that one, so that's what I'm playing now is Beanstalk. I've only been playing it for about half an hour, by the looks of it. But that's pretty good so far. And then I've got a huge backlog of stuff, so I'm just going to keep playing through these VR games. I want to build up.
I haven't heard of any of them.
Yeah, that just had some good bundles. I'd not seen them. I didn't have any of them, so I just grabbed them. But the one I want to build up to is Fallout 4 VR. I've not started it yet, but it's on my library. Like, that's going to be good. I'm going to need to dedicate some time to that. So so I'm going to build up to that. There's quite a few campaign-looking games in here as well. There's some fun VR games out there. There's definitely some good ones.
How long can you stay in it for? Because I can only do about 2 hours, and then I feel like I'm going to chunder.
Nah, I'm fine. I think I built myself up slowly. So I first got VR on like the Samsung Gear VR when you used to get on like the Samsung Galaxy 8. I think you could literally click your phone into a headset. Yeah, so I did that first, and then I did like PlayStation 4 VR, and that was fine. And then when I got the Oculus, I just never really had a problem with it, to be honest. So yeah, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, I played that Wizards game. I literally had a day off work with nothing else to do, and I think I played it solidly for about 7 hours. Well, I stopped to have lunch. Took the heads off to eat. I maybe had a few wee breaks and stuff throughout the day.
Ready Player One. Just go on. Just go back in.
Just played through it the whole day. Didn't get any motion sickness or anything.
Stuck in the Oasis.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
VR chat is the closest thing to that. I've been going on that with Rhaegar. We did the episode where we did the climbing, and some of the stuff you can do in there is great. You just like go to these different worlds, and there's stuff to explore. It's mad. It's definitely worth checking out if you've not been in there before. You can just go and find all these different worlds that people have made, and there's loads of interactive stuff that people have set up, and you just discover different places every time you go in.
Excellent. I have not been playing quite as many games as Blunders or Mr. Triangle Face, but nonetheless they have been half decent. So the first thing I've been playing, which I've completed, on reflection, I'm liking this more than I did at the start, but I still have some pretty heavy criticisms of it, and that was Callisto Protocol. So I really liked it. I wanted to love it. It is essentially the spiritual successor to Dead Space. But as I was playing it, all I really wanted it to be was Dead Space, which is really annoying because the setting on this is incredible. The motion capture is incredible. It's just not scary. I think that's the bottom line. It's a horror game that isn't scary because it's got a really quite an enjoyable melee feature. So you run out of bullets, you can just batter everything with the weapon you've got, and it's got a dodge feature, and the dodging is literally hitting left and right. You just hit left and right with the analog, and you only have to you don't have to hit it in a particular order other than you can't go left. And that's it. And you don't have to pick the right direction to start with. So you could effectively get through the game probably without getting hit at all by just dodging everything and hitting them with the weapon and never firing a bullet, other than on like the big bosses where you have to use guns and stuff. So because of that element, I think some of the scare factor is not there. You don't have to worry about conserving your ammo because you can just batter everything, and you never run away from anything because you can batter everything. So you kind of go, oh, there he is, and run over to him and kill him. But it's very pretty. The story is very cool. I just wished it was Dead Space. That was the only thing that I had with it. But I'd like to go back and play it again now that all my expectations are sort of out the window.
I think Ian hated it.
I can see why people did hate it.
He hated it, yeah.
It does loads of things that Dead Space does. So, when you kill an enemy, if you stomp them, it gives you additional ammo or health packs, and you're like, that's literally what you do in Dead Space. It's got the gravity arm thing, the stasis thing, so you can like pull things towards you and fire them off. And again, you're like, you literally do that in Dead Space. And the animation to give yourself like a health stim like you look at it, like the character like looks at this health stim and then injects his neck, and you're like, oh, okay, he's done that once. But no, he does it every time you want to inject yourself with a health stim. There's this little animation, this little cutscene, and everything still comes at you whilst you're trying to get more health inside. And you're like, this is a poor decision. This is a really poor decision, because it can slow combat down so badly, because you have to sort of get a distance between you and the enemy, or run around a corner, give yourself a health stim, and then run back into combat. And you're like, yeah, that was a bit annoying. But I'd like to play it again. I think like it's not awful. It's definitely not worth paying full price like I did when I got it. But it's like a 25 quid game. If you saw that at that price, oh, it's totally worth that. You'll get your money's worth out of that. Other game I played, which I've literally just talked about it, haven't we? Dead Space remake. That just as soon as I started that and really got into that, I was like, oh, there we go. This is the itch that Callisto Protocol was trying to scratch. Unbelievable. It surpasses the original in every way imaginable. It's still the core of everything that is the same. They fixed a couple of like little niggly things with controls. It just flows better. It looks better. It sounds better. Everything about this game is just better. So if you haven't played the original Dead Space, don't bother. Just play this one. If you have played the original Dead Space, play this one as well. It's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I can't recommend that one enough.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to price to drop a little bit.
Worth every
penny.
penny.
And then if I find it somewhere cheap, then I'll definitely dive on it.
$24.99, 100% worth that. You will get 25 quid's worth of enjoyment out of that game, without a shadow of a doubt. Makes me really annoyed that I paid 50 quid.
Yeah,
but there we go. Some you win, some you lose. And then, much like Blunners, see you late at night sometimes when I'm on Metroid Prime Remastered, which is, they should have just called it Remake, because that is essentially what it is, isn't it? They have reskinned that game. It's beautiful. It's so good. It's just wonderful. I'm enjoying the hell out of that. Addicted to it a little bit like a crack addict. I think it's the puzzles are genuinely good, and it does not hold your hand. It's back to that old school type gaming where it's just, there you go, that's it. If you spend too long in an area, sometimes it will come up on the little menu and say, have you thought about going here? It's like, oh, okay, I'll go over there. But outside of that, it's just complete freedom to go and explore everything where you are. I think I'm about 13 hours into it, because I'm trying to do everything, which can take a little bit of time. I've watched a few people speed run it in like 4 hours with 100%. You're like, you must know this game well. And the last one that I've got ready to play is just over there, but I'm going to grab it because it's physical, and everybody likes physical.
What's he going to bring back the head?
Pokemon.
So I've been holding off on replaying this, even though they've recently done an update for anyone that has it on PS4. But I had a feeling they'd release a physical for it, and that is The Witcher 3.
Oh, Witcher.
Oh, very nice.
Loved it on the PS4. This has all the DLC on the disc as well, so it's about as complete as it comes. Plus, it's got sort of like slightly new artwork for Geralt on the front as well, which I thought, yeah, I'm into that. So as soon as Metroid's done, I'm going to be jumping back into the Witcher universe and going for another run on that, I think. So yeah, there's a cracking little selection of games there from everybody, I think. So this is going to lead us nicely on to the first proper topic, I guess, and that is the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom 10-minute gameplay that Nintendo released recently. I think a lot of people have been anticipating seeing how this game would look visually, how it would move, basically what they're going to bring to it. Is it just going to be a sequel to Breath of the Wild, or are they bringing something new to it? And it was very clear that they're bringing something pretty new to it. This is going to be a pretty big game. So yeah, have people seen the video? What do they think? I know Blunners is probably itching.
Yeah, I'll wait to see if the others have seen anything on it first.
No, I've only seen a picture of it. I've not actually seen a trailer, but I've seen just an image of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got no interest at all.
Oh,
yeah. Oh mate, I'd love you to play this. So no, this
never really played Zelda, and it just looks dull.
No interest. So yeah, one of my favorite games ever. Really, how it's made. It's literally I didn't look before when Breath of the Wild came out. Didn't actually look at any videos, anything about it. I stayed away from everything, and literally I didn't know what the fuck was going on because normally they're quite linear. You've got to work your way through them, whereas this is just like there's a stick, crack on. So obviously they've kept, and the world, it is massive, and the file size of this game is like the original game was under 10 gig, and it was something stupid like that. It's huge, but so how they compressed it, I don't know. But this is just the sequel, is all of like before, like the whole map of before, but now you've got a whole island up in the skies, and they've shown you the 4 new like powers you have. They haven't actually told you what's happened because the Master Sword looks like it's broken. You've got like some sort of robot arm going on, which they haven't told you anything about. But so the 4 things they're bringing in, one of them's rewind. So there's a bit in the gameplay. He's looking down. He sees a boulder fall from one of these things in the sky. He climbs up there. You get on top of it, and then he rewinds it all the way back up to the top into the sky. So it literally follows it all the way back up into the sky. They then start showing you a bit of what's these different like enemies up in the sky. Also the transition, if you get knocked off, it instantly just drops you down to then falling down to the world again. It's like they've then there's another one which you can go in if you've got something above you, you can then just like teleport through. Whereas before, you would spend hours trying to make sure you got enough stamina, try and climb up these. Because if you saw it, you could climb it. That was basically the thing. It was none of it. Like I went from that to playing, what was it, Horizon, and you can't climb everything. Whereas in Zelda, if there's a wall, if I've got enough stamina, I'm climbing up it. Don't care, I can get up there. So that was a massive thing. So this one, it just saves you time. You literally just can like teleport and come out the top. I don't know how it works. I don't know why. They'll explain that later. The other one was like this like raft building. He basically was like sticking all these things and stuff together to go over. Because like before, you could only swim a certain amount and then you would just drown and then you would just come back to where you were. And I think they've watched a lot of the speedrunners and the people that have cracked the game, where they would like use the powers to where you'd get sent literally to the other. You can send yourself to the other side, and it's like they've kind of watched what these people have been doing on YouTube, so they've kind of thought, you know what, we'll stick that in the game, and they've kind of like adapted it in a way. So yeah, so I can't wait for it because I just know it's going to be nuts. It's just like it's just more of the same, please. That's all. That's all I like. And what was the last one? I can't remember what the last one was off the top of my head.
Oh, the last 4,
power. Wasn't there? Yeah, there was the going through, the rewind, the building. Oh, that was it. And your weapons. So like you
yes,
to say like, because the main thing about Zelda is that you get all these like decent weapons, but they will break. They won't last forever. Other than the Master Sword, that has to have recharge time. Whereas the rest of your weapons, if you keep using them, they will just snap. They'll break. Whereas now you can attach 2 weapons together. Like in the game, he has like a pitchfork and a long stick. So he's now can attack from miles away, and also they're like when you kill like bats, you get their eyes. You can attach it to a like an arrow, and it like now it's a homing arrow because it can see where it's going.
Yeah.
So there's like it's amazing how they've managed to keep so much of it quiet. Like it hasn't leaked at all, but I do think it's going to do really well for them, and hopefully sell just as well as Breath of the Wild, because the Zelda games really haven't sold as great as you'd think, but hopefully this one does.
Yeah, it just looks incredible, and it still blows my mind with the original Breath of the Wild of just how big that game is, how good it looks, how seamless it is to go from area to area. And if you just run on the map without going into any dungeons, there is no load time, and yet it's just on a card. It's not on a disc. It's just on a card, on a Switch, on a handheld. You can play the whole game in handheld mode if you want to. It blows my mind as to how a game that big is on the Nintendo Switch. It really does. And I just can't help but think that now that this has got like the sky level areas as well, this is this is going to be bigger because it's now not just got traversing on the ground. You're now going to go up, and there's going to be all these sky areas, and that's going to have its own areas to traverse as well. It's insane. You know, there's a real reason that Breath of the Wild is often referred to a lot of people. It's their favorite game of all time. It's because it's just that good. I know.
I think it's just because
except for Dwarves.
I think it's just because you can do what you want. You go like, whereas before, like you got 4 bosses that you go to, whereas you think, well, you've always been pushed to go to certain ones. Whereas on this game, you literally go, right, well, crack on. Where do you want to go? There's the 4 points. Off you go. You're like, don't know where you're going. It's weird.
It's very good, and I agree with you. I think it's going to sell well. I think it's going to do well. There's a lot of people very excited for it. Yeah, I can't wait. There's so many games that I'm looking to try and get done before then. So it's either going to just take over everything, or I'm just going to have to wait. But I don't think waiting's an option. I think it's going to have to be a day one pick up and push everything else aside. I think that's the only way it's going to work. Yeah. But yes, that was excellent. I absolutely loved the that 10-minute preview they did, because it just affirmed everything that everyone was hoping it would be. Excellent. We do have a lot of topics on here that we want to get to, so we might not spend ages on some of these ones. Next one, we might not spend too long on this, because unless anyone went to see it today, I definitely won't be able to say a huge amount about it, but that is the Mario movie has now finally come out. The review embargo lifted last night, and the reviews have been middling, I think would be the fairest way to say it. Yet the audience scores have been through the roof. So this could be another one of these movies where the critics have kind of just gone in and just see it as a kids movie, but they don't think it's very good, whereas everybody else goes to see it and goes, this is an hour and a half of absolute nonsense fun, which is, I mean, it's Mario, isn't it? It's the storylines in the Mario games do not get any more simple than they currently are. It's just Mario saving someone, beat Bowser, game over. And someone was, I think one of the reviewers said something like the wafer thin plot, and you're like, if it's Mario trying to save Peach or Mario trying to save Luigi, which it looks like in the trailer, and he fights Bowser, I mean, I'm going to be quite happy. I mean, there's not, you don't need to break the mold with this to make it something, you know, earth shattering. I'm still dead excited.
Yeah, I've got my book. We're booked for Friday when my brother comes from the States, and there's a whole, I think, 14 tickets. So yeah, we are taking over the cinema 5:30.
Excellent. There's a few people that have really enjoyed it, and you know, Chris Stuckman on YouTube, he's a film critic that I generally quite trust, and you know, he said, "Is it a great movie?" Like, well, no. When you compare it to other movies, no. But when you compare it to it just being an hour and a half, really good family fun with an insane amount of Nintendo references in it, so for all the fans, there's just going to be tons of things to pick up on. He said it's great. It's really good. So yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, Seren there saying that some friends are saying it's good. Ryan going on Friday. I know Seren's pestering me to see if we can get to go and see it this week. It's got to happen, hasn't it? I just, dead excited. Next topic. Again, this can be a real sort of short topic because I don't think any of us have got it, but it's more, I guess, just to talk about the initial reactions to the launches of it. It's PSVR 2. That is now out in people's hands. I know that we discussed it on a stream a while back, and the main critique that we gave it was it's bloody expensive. 550? Is it 550 or just 500?
Yeah. And then that's on top of having to have a PS5 already as well. Like, I've not got a PS5. I would really like to get a PSVR 2, but I'm going to have to buy a PS5 and a PSVR 2, and then a game. So I'm probably looking at spending over $1,000. So it's like, do I want one that bad? Like, I'd like one, but do I want one? Am I willing to part with over £1,000 to get one?
It's it's insanely expensive. I know there's a lot of tech in the headset. I know that it's it's got this incredible visual display. It's got the eye tracking, so it can make the game on the outer edges less. It's more pixely. That doesn't have to put all that effort into it. All the effort is to where your eyes are, and you're like, this is crazy tech. It's insanely cool.
They'll be able to, there's one thing I saw that I think does look really cool. The fact they could do this. So there's a game where you can pick up different weapons, and depending on what weapon you're holding in the game, the controller knows how to react differently on the trigger button. So the trigger's either going to be stiffer or clickier, depending on what weapon you're holding at the time. Now that's really clever. Like I think that's a really cool thing.
Come on, Tim, you're the VR man. You gotta get it.
Yeah.
I would love to get one. It's just I don't know if I can justify that much. If I already had a PS5. And then I was looking to fork out some more to get this. It might be different, but if I'm getting both at the same time,
it's a big investment.
That's why God invented credit cards, Tim.
Far too frugal to splurge on things like that without really considering it. I'll weigh my options.
Yeah, I mean that's a good comment there, making it compatible with Steam. I think that's a great idea.
Well, that's the thing. I've got my Oculus Quest, and all those games I reeled off earlier. They're all off Steam, Steam VR. I've just got a link cable so I can plug my Oculus into the PC, and I've got a huge library of great.
Yeah, but your PC was £1,000. Do you know what I mean? That's a PlayStation.
Yeah, it wasn't shy of it. Yeah, I've already bought that. So that's the thing. I've not long ago bought a quite expensive laptop. So I've got to
breaking on it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, we won't go into that. It's a long story.
Yeah, I've got the original VR, but
richest man in Hampshire.
Richest man in Hampshire.
Far from it. I think.
But yeah, I've got the original VR, and I just don't. I played it when I first got it, relentlessly for a few weeks, and then it's just sat in the cupboard. I've not touched it for probably about a year, so I doubt if I'll get it. I'll be very surprised if I get it.
The thing that sucked with the original VR was the setup. It's it's so faffy, and if you've got it set up permanently, it's okay, but there's just so many cables everywhere, and it's just. It's a real effort.
I really do actually enjoy the PS VR on the PS4. It's very good, but I play my Oculus a lot more now just because I've got all the Steam library. But whenever I go back to the PSVR, there's some really good games in it. I forget how good it is. I go back to think, actually, this is pretty cool. It's a very good VR setup. So,
yes, very true. The Iron Man VR, pulling the triggers, taking off the ground immediately at rocket speed, and going, "Oh crap!"
I think I'd chunder on that.
The thing that is most annoying with PSVR 2, and I think this is a real missed trick, considering, like Tim's just said, there are some incredible games on just regular PSVR. You've got Blood and what's it called, the mobster game one. I can't think what that's called now. Blood and something.
Blood and Truth.
Blood and Truth. Phenomenal game. Iron Man VR is really good. VR Worlds is a real great tech demo of things. You got Skyrim VR, Doom 3 VR. Yep, Star. There's so many good games.
Resident Evil.
Another game. Have you played? I think it was a free game on PS Plus at one point. Did you ever play Paper Beast?
No.
Have you seen that? That is a beautiful game. That is really, really cool. I've only sat down and played it for a little while, but I really enjoyed it. The first bit of the game was you start up, and I was like, this is taking a while to load. And I realized there's just the sheet, and I was like, oh, I can move around. Maybe I'm just in a loading area. And then I pulled the sheet down, and there's this huge creature that starts just walking off. I was like, I guess I'm supposed to follow it. There's no tutorial, no instructions, no menu. You just start playing this game, and you just explore, and you just find all these weird creatures that are made of paper, and they just react to things you do. So you have to move things around to see how the creature reacts to it. And there's water features where you can see if the creature reacts to water, and it's really, really fun game. It's like a puzzle solving game, really. But
Gremlin.
Yeah,
like a gremlin.
No, not literally. No, it's they react to different things. There's a bit where there's these crabs that react to light, so you have to I think you have to move the light somewhere else, and they start building up a sand pile until the sand pile is big enough that you can then get out of the cave you're in. So things like that. You just got to keep experimenting with different things in the area, and then the creatures kind of react to it in different ways. They kind of ignore you, so you're not having to fight them or anything or avoid them. The creatures just carry on doing their thing. And if they're doing something with a rock, you move the rock and see if they follow you and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But very visually, it's a really impressive game. It's just that start.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's already started. Oh, there's a big.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow this thing, see what happens. It's a really nice introduction to the game.
And the thing that sucks with all of that is you can't play it on your PSVR 2.
So it's not backwards compatible. You can't get back.
None of it. Can't play any of it on your PSVR.
None of it's backwards compatible.
Nope.
Are you having a laugh?
Nope. None
Shocking,
of it.
isn't it? Shocking.
Oh my god. Wow.
So yeah. So you're like, okay, so there's a missed trick. Anyone that skipped original PSVR and has gone straight for VR2 is going to miss out on all of these games. I'm sure someone somewhere at some point is going to go, do you think we should make these backwards compatible and just do a patch to update the shit out of it, because that needs to happen.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's something I would like. It's something I can see going into like a Black Friday deal and being like 350 quid or something. Like, for me, that's £500 is a lot of money. It's not an impulse buy. But I think considering all the stuff that's in it, it's a high-end like device. It's a high-end gaming experience. It's similar to like the Vive and all that kind of stuff. It has wrapped up a gear. So yeah, I guess that price tag just kind of comes along with that, unfortunately.
Wow.
But
if you could hook that up, say you could hook that up to like your triangle face laptop, then do you know what I mean? You'd be loving it.
Yeah,
high end.
but it's Sony, isn't it? They don't like sharing.
Well,
it's like Betamax all over again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to try one though. I'd like to try one. So
didn't your mate get one?
Yes, I think so. I think Harry got one, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
So we'll have to convince Harry to have a
come on, Harry,
a PSVR party so we can come around and see what it's like.
Definitely.
Okie dokie. So next up is some recent news, and I'm going to have to double check the studio. I'm pretty sure I know who the studio is, but I need to double check it while we're chatting. And that is Street Fighter movie. The new Street Fighter is now going to get a new live action movie. They have tried to do this twice. First one is the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie with Raul Julia. Yes, Kylie Minogue. It was
the late great Raul Julia as well.
That was his last movie as well. Imagine that. Your last movie. Bloody hell.
And also, Ollie, it's got my favourite actor's name of all time, Grand Bush. Grand L. Bush, isn't it? Generally, his name's Grand L. Bush. Honestly, he's in Street Fighter.
There's some fairly good fan-made like Street Fighter films, weren't there, that came out on Netflix and stuff like that a little while back.
There were something Assassins, I think it was called. Yeah. That was really good. It was a fan film. It did get a physical release as well.
There he is.
Wow. Did he play Balrog?
He did.
He must have played Balrog, yeah.
There you go, there he is, see? Oh, he's in Die Hard as well, Little Johnson.
There you go. And Exorcist 3, Legion.
Yeah, he's
he called?
Grand L. Bush.
Grand L. Bush.
I've got a couple of reservations. Let me I'll let you guys chatter about.
Is it because Mortal Kombat? So did anyone watch the Mortal Kombat remake?
I did.
Yeah, so is it because it was good. How well? Because that done quite well, didn't it? And I think it done a lot better than what people were thinking.
And I don't think it cost an extortionate amount of money either. And the Mortal Kombat movie got the spirit of Mortal Kombat really well. You know, the fatalities in it were gory, it was bloody, it was violent, it was everything that Mortal Kombat should have been. Albeit it sort of shocking. It didn't have the tournament, so it didn't actually have Mortal Kombat, which was a bit like they're building up to the tournament. And without giving any spoilers away, you know, a couple of characters die, which is fairly common in those sorts of games, movie adaptations of games. But they knocked off a couple of the characters where you're like, guess you won't be in the sequel then, when hopefully they get to the tournament. That sucks. Don't know. How do people feel about this, having a Street Fighter or a new Street Fighter movie?
Just why mess with the first one? The first one's a classic. Why?
The first one so bad it's good.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I'd call it a classic.
It's so bad.
They've just done a new Mario Brothers movie after that previous attempt. So the Street Fighter will get another shot. Yeah.
So the studio that's got it, which is what I thought it was, but just wanted to double check, is Legendary. So it's not
Legendary Pictures.
It's not a small studio. It's something that's going to be. It's going to have a budget, like without a shadow of a doubt. If it's with Legendary Pictures, it's going to have a budget, so it's going to be decent. Yes, Andy, it's going to be a live action movie. So here's my concern, and it is a concern, I guess, for something like Street Fighter. Loads of Street Fighter fans, they're quite hardcore and they're quite intense about the fighter, and they will want everyone to look similar to how they look in the games, and it's just not going to translate well to a live action movie the way the characters look. You could have characters when they do certain fights have their gi on and all this kind of stuff, but just walking around out in the world like they're going to have to do, if they're wearing their traditional costumes, it's going to look stupid. So they're going to have to find this really good balance of having the characters sort of be able to look like they're taking part in a real world, somehow get their actual costumes on for elements of the film, and they, without being mean, like they all say weird catchphrases. So are they gonna have the characters say these phrases every time they pull off a move? Because that again is going to just sound it's going to sound fucking stupid.
I think it's going to be hard to make a serious film out of it, where it's like, then that's the subject matter. I think my real question is, are we going to get a Street Fighter the movie remake the game?
Street Fighter the movie, the game.
Yeah.
As long as they got Dalsim with stretchy legs and stretchy arms.
Yeah, stretchy arms.
That'd be good.
Exactly.
And the bonus round where you can smash up a car, that'd be quite cool.
He's trying to make a good film with the character names and just had a few little nods to the game and a few Easter eggs. Like I don't know. I don't know how you make a good Street Fighter movie, to be honest. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm just going to go along and watch it and see what happens. I don't know what I would pitch. If I was pitching a Street Fighter movie, I'd be like, go big or go home, I guess. Make it really cheesy. All the costumes, all the catchphrases, smash a car, done. Go home.
It's going to be really difficult, I think, because it needs to be fun, because Street Fighter is fun. It's not overly violent, even though the whole thing is just about beating the shit out of each other. But it's not an overly violent franchise, so it needs to be that PG-13, 12A sort of territory, maybe 15 if you really wanted to sort of go out with some good action sequences. I would be sorely tempted to just kind of follow the manga movie they did, and just sort of loosely adapt that. As long as you've got M. Bison, who's
as an anime film is doable, but live action
it works perfectly.
A lot of stuff just doesn't translate very well.
No. So I think they're going to have a real hard time making it look right, making it feel right, and then still be a good movie. But it could be cool. Who knows? It might be absolutely batshit madness. But unlike Mortal Kombat, which just translates really nicely to an on-screen thing, because you can have people in their traditional costumes, because you can just have that silliness totally overshadowed by violence. You know, you can just make everybody have their arms ripped off, sawn in half, and everyone just goes away thinking that was awesome. Whereas Street Fighter is a little bit more accessible. So it's going to be interesting.
It depends how real world they make it, because obviously they've got like the fireballs and powers and things like that. So it depends how they introduce all of that into it, and how they sort of suspend disbelief for that. Because if they almost kind of don't set it in our world in a way, like it just established that, like, you know, people can shoot fire from their hands and that's normal. You know, perhaps that sets the sets the tone of it a bit. Don't know. It'd be interesting to see.
It will. Okay, I'm now trying to find the news article, unless Blunners has got it to hand for the next topic. And that is, let's have a look. So there is a rumor.
I sent to you.
PlayStation are working on a new handheld, or Sony are working on a new handheld, but it doesn't appear like it's going to have its own standalone games. It looks like they are going to focus solely on remote play. So this is going to be an extension of your PS5, where you'll be able to access your PS5 games, PS5 library, PS Plus library, all of that good stuff, and just play it on the go.
It's codenamed Q Lite.
Q Lite. Let's see if
that's what the code name is. It's likely to target those who want to use remote play a whole new way. So obviously they won't have their own studios just making individual games for a console. It's basically going to be like streaming your PlayStation 5. But how would it access that? It's going to have internet connection to do this.
Yeah, but if you're on a train,
seems a bit odd, doesn't it? Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you can just download your content onto it.
Yeah,
you might be able to download but maybe if you have your account and you can just log into your account and download the games you've got.
Yeah, that'd be good to download. Why are they going into the handheld market again? You know,
but this is the thing.
We got the Evercade EXP, which, as you know, Blunners is brilliant. So
very reliable piece of hardware.
Yeah, why are they going into the handheld market? It doesn't make sense to me.
It's a difficult thing, isn't it? Because I think they see the bonus benefit of having a portable system. So you look at things like the Switch, look at things like Steam Deck. All these things they're really popular. You know, whenever I'm on the train, I always take my Switch. You know, if I go away somewhere for the weekend, I'll take my Switch over anything else because it's nice, it's compact, portable, all that good stuff. But I guess if you had I'm trying to find the images because I think they were just like mock-up images, but I can't even find those.
I can hold up to the screen, but it's
go for that. We'll go low tech to see if we can get the picture. I mean, look at that. That looks glorious. If that's actually
says here 1080p, 60 frames per second, I reckon.
And it's I guess they're seeing a market where it's an extension of your PS5. I'd imagine your PS5 would have to be in rest mode because it will have to remotely access it via the internet, and you know that's fine. That's no problem. It's no different to having your PS5 on. But yeah, it's gonna. I can't remember if it was Blunners or Dorbs that said it's going to need internet connectivity, like without a doubt. So, are you going to be able to play it on a train? Probably not, because you all know what Southwest train Wi-Fi signal's like. It's just awful.
Other train lines are available. Other train companies are available.
Of course they are. Of course they are. We are in no way affiliated with Southwest trains. But
no thanks.
When you go to like a hotel, most hotels have got half decent free Wi-Fi. I don't know. It's kind of cool. Like, it's the sort of thing I can see myself picking up because curiosity would just get the better of me.
Yes, you can.
You can, yeah.
It's very patchy. It's not great.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the most reliable of things. And if you've got like not a particularly great phone that doesn't have a particularly great screen, it's not going to look great. Whereas I guess if you've got a device that is specific for this and like a really nice display, that kind of thing, it could be cool. But
do you feel like once 5G is everywhere, you mean you're getting 250 meg easy download easy on 5G anywhere? Once that becomes more 4G.
We go to London quite a lot. And you can hardly get a phone signal. It's ridiculous because all the tower blocks, they block out the signal. So you're like,
they'll block each other.
I've got one bar. What the hell's going on? It's
crazy. To me, maybe this would be more. This might work better when the PS6 or something like that eventually comes out. Once the infrastructure's there, like kind of like the Xbox original Xbox One was a bit before its time. Is this a bit too early? Once, like you said, we're not there yet. We don't have the download capabilities of this yet.
It's interesting though because it's the handheld market is still big, but Nintendo just dominate it. You know, it doesn't matter.
Lays.
Yeah, the Evercade's fun, but Nintendo dominate that handheld market. They always have. Doesn't matter who tries to come out with a new handheld device, whether it's Sony, whether it's anybody, it just never competes with whatever Nintendo are doing, even to the point where Nintendo had 2 handheld products in the market at the same time when they released the Switch, and they were still making 3DS games, and the 3DS was still selling an extortionate amount, to the point where they then made the new 3DS, the 2DS with the flip screen, and people still bought it all. So I can see why they're trying to focus more on the remote play aspect of this one this time.
It's a shame because the V is a really good piece of equipment. They just couldn't be asked to carry on with it.
I wonder. I think a big factor in this is going to be the price point, isn't it? How much they're going to expect people to fork over for it. If it comes out with a really good price point, people might be like, "Oh yeah, it's worth a try." Then if it's cheap enough.
Has it got a Tarte mode? Do we know?
I don't know. Torch mode.
yeah. Well, glove warming, hand warming mode.
I think it's generally everything's under wraps at the moment, but it's definitely something I'm gonna keep an eye on. It's weird.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, intriguing.
I only saw it today, so I could stand next to Ollie just have a quick look on it.
Exactly that. Okay, so next one I think is certainly more for Blunners, I think, and that is that Pokemon Stadium is coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Is this the N64 one?
Yeah, so this is the N64 one. There was a trailer released today. Or was it yesterday, late afternoon? That's the next game that's coming in April. If you've got a premium Switch Online account on, so that's just another N64 game. Obviously, you had GoldenEye last. I think the last one was GoldenEye. The next one they're bringing out is Pokemon Stadium. Don't know if it connects up to Pokemon Home, because that is, for people who don't know, that's like where you can pretty much, like with all the ones that are now connected to your internet, you can chuck all your Pokemon from there into this Pokemon Home and then access them from anywhere. So I'm not sure if that links up to it yet, but Pokemon Stadium is the latest Nintendo 64 online one that's coming to the online pass.
Exciting. The Nintendo online stuff I think has been really popular. Lots of people have really enjoyed being able to go back over those old games. It has made, for anyone that has Mario 3D All-Stars physical copy, if anyone's had a look at how much that sells for on eBay at the moment, anyone that has a copy of that, it's a 45-50 quid game, which what was it, 45 when it came out? Was it 40?
Yeah, but about 40. Remember.
So I think it's going to go up in value now, because that's the only way you can physically have 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy on the Switch. But we knew that was going to happen when they started announcing what they were going to do with it. But yeah, hopefully they'll bring some more titles to that, because it's you can't really.
So you now got Game Boy Advance, NES, SNES. Hopefully and now you're getting N64. And what they do is they do bring out like your dedicated wireless controllers for it. It works out an extra, maybe for the family pass I've got, you can have like 7 or 8, is it 8 accounts on the one. And it works out about not even 40 quid for the year, 50 quid for the year maybe, and you get all the new Mario Kart DLC as well. And they are always chucking. It's no way near your PlayStation or your Microsoft kind of content, but it's getting there. And he said they've got an unlimited library that they can just throw out. It was really weird playing my Switch, playing Tetris on it the other day. So, do you know what I mean? That's really weird, massive green screen, and then watching the new film that they've just released. So yeah.
Yeah, you can't beat Tetris, can you? It's such a good game still. Let's do some questions while we're going through, because they seem to be relevant to here. Andy Davison, have any of the panel got Playdate? The price goes up $20 in 2 days.
No.
No.
I had a look at it. It looks interesting, but I was like, not going to get
I've seen Our Low use it, and it looks it just looks crazy.
We could play it had tapeworms on it, isn't it? So obviously it's got the cranks, you can wind the tapeworm back in.
Well, I did look into it, and the shipping and it was extortionate. And then when you looked, because you do get like, it does unlock games as you go on. And then when I did look at a lot of reviews, they were saying the screen on it is awful, and it depends on like how the angle you have it. And obviously I do follow what he's done, but I think that tapeworm would be brilliant, because you can wind the tapeworm in and out. So I think that's a brilliant idea, but yeah, it's not for me. I did look at it though.
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah, because he then says, if so, is it different and quirky enough to justify the huge price?
No.
To be honest, I've not looked into it.
No.
I've not looked into it enough.
No interest.
I think.
No interest.
It looks interesting. And I was like, oh, it looks pretty cool. I can't remember how much it is now, but I looked at it, I was like, nah, I'm not paying that much for it. So I don't know anyone
It's
that's
over
got one, to be
150
honest.
quid.
Yeah, it's quite expensive for what it is.
Because then you're looking.
Intriguing.
It doesn't look like a very high end, like high cost machine. It looks like the kind of thing you might impulse buy in like Waterstones. You see it
Yeah, it's like those
on the shelf,
ones,
you know,
those-
but it's not.
It's like those consoles you get in like Poundland with those,
Yeah.
8 games in one. Just not for me.
Yeah.
Well, they're my Mikos.
Stanley, we cannot say that. The console should not be named.
You're not going to find that in Poundland.
Definitely not.
Legendary Rob Taylor has asked the question, just purchased his PS5 and only PS5 game. What games do you recommend?
Wow. I've actually, if Rob, I don't know if you're still watching, but if you have a spare £133.55, I've got I've got 5 games that I recommend. One of them costs £49. So we start off with 2 ticks. Let me, as you can see, this is live. So we start off with the most expensive one. We are live, yeah. Last of Us Part 1.
Yep.
Definitely recommend that one.
I need to pick that up
I want
because it's great.
You need to get that. So that's 49.
Yeah, I've only got it on PS3 day one.
It's really good. Next up is, let's go for this one. Aliens Far Team, £19.67. Really good. If you're a fan of the Aliens game, I loved it.
Yeah, it's okay. For that price, it's definitely good and definitely worth it. It's definitely more fun when you're playing with friends.
Yeah, the bots on there are
garbage,
frustrating, awful. You might as well play on yourself, but
they just run into a wall.
They do, but for £19, very good game.
I'm here.
Number 3 is here. Good. Not everyone's cup of tea, but I really liked it. Watch Dogs Legion. Really good. I enjoyed it.
Decent.
Nice,
You can
easy
pick that up
pattern
cheap, can't you?
as well. 15 quid this is.
Oh,
So
bargain.
15 quid. So yeah, really good game.
Mike Holton has just chucked a game in the chat, and I have to admit that is one I am itching to get, because seeing that run on a PS5 looks beautiful. I'm definitely up for some Deliver Us the Moon, 100%.
I'll look out for that one. Number 2 in my top 5. Again, quite a nice, easy platinum. Really good price. £14. Yeah, I mean at that price, it's an absolute steal. It's a really good game.
I haven't played it. Is any good?
I loved it.
What's it about?
Well, basically, you go to this like quarry, and you're like, I don't know, these weird teenage kids, and I've got to be careful not to spoil it. But basically, something happens, and you can make choices throughout the game where some of them die, some of them live.
Is it a bit like Until Dawn?
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't say the storyline because it will spoil it. Yeah, but 15 quid.
Spring Break.
£14.95. Really good game. And my number 1 pick, Siobhan, see, I bought it off her actually. My number 1 pick is, of course, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves. Really good. Cracking games. I mean, 35 quid.
Has that got? Is that Uncharted 4 and the yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So for 35 quid for 2 games, you can't moan. So yeah, Rob, if you do have a spare £133.55 with free delivery, I thoroughly recommend those 5 games.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Or PSVR 2.
Yeah, add 4.
Get
it.
Yeah.
For me, I'm just looking at looking at some of the PS5 games. I guess it depends how much of a challenge you want, because something like Returnal is still quite expensive, but that's a PS5 exclusive. It looks great. It's hard as hell. So that's I would I like that game, but if you're not into something that's punishingly difficult, then maybe not Returnal, but I would recommend Returnal. I know Dorbs had it up earlier. Bug Snacks. It's on every console going, but the PS5 version is just very, very nice. That's an easy game to play. It's
What is that
very
about?
addictive.
Paradise as well.
You play as these characters, these sort of, I guess they're like they just look like grumpuses. And you go to this island to run a news story. You're like a reporter, and you're trying to find the secrets of this island that you're on. And you can collect these little things called bug snacks, but there'll be like little bugs that look like French fries or ice creams or watermelons. And when you catch them and eat them, a part of your body transforms into whatever that bug represents. So you can have like sausage legs and cheese arms. It's weird, but it's very good. It's very addictive. The premise,
so you're eating bugs.
You're catching bugs and collecting bugs, and you're trying to find the secrets of this island. And then, it takes a dark turn. It takes a real dark turn towards the end. It's great. I loved it. Really, really good. Really charming game. I would, of course, recommend Elden Ring, which was my favorite game of last year.
I haven't got that yet.
It's not as punishingly difficult as some of the other From Software games, but it is still hard. But it's great. Absolutely great. Dive into it. It is without a doubt the most accessible From Software game, and you will love it to death. And I would recommend A Plague Tale as well, the first one, because it's just so good. Dark, very, very dark. The story is it's very melancholy, but again, that's a great game. There's so many good games. I know when people say, "Oh, the PS5's got no games."
No, I picked up Sonic Frontiers for 20 quid.
I still haven't played that.
Hasn't turned up yet. Yeah, well, I haven't got it yet, but I've picked it up on Vinted, 25 quid.
Yeah. Oh, Mike Holton says Returnal is on offer at the moment.
Yeah, I put that on the screen. 2K23, I did play that around Ryan's the other day. That was very good.
I would like to get Hogwarts Legacy, Siobhan. That is on my list of things to get. 100%.
How many hours did you put into that, Siobhan?
I think about 60. I think I said. Harry Potter. I've not seen the film.
Well worth the money.
The only thing I've seen.
Do you know what? I've literally just started watching them. My sister said how good they were. But as I'm off, I just thought I'll stay. I've literally been watching one a night. I've only done two, but
I've seen a bloke run into a brick wall at the wherever the theme park is, and I was like, I don't get it. But no interest in Harry Potter, unfortunately.
Okay, right. Let's move into our 41 hours. That's a good number. I like it. That's just long enough, I think.
Is that during your lunch break?
Pound an
hour. Okay, so let's move into our final topics, which are Xbox Game Pass April. So we normally talk about the games with gold. Let me Google very quickly what the games with gold is this month.
I think there's a couple. There's about 5 or 6 leaving games with gold.
Is that really?
There's about 5 or 6 games that'll be disappearing.
Okay, so everybody should know this by now, but we always give it a quick recap of what it is anyway. So Games with Gold is your standard $5.99 or £34 a year, whatever it is, service to play Xbox Live, and they normally throw in 2 free games on top of that, and they always try and upsell it. So this month in April, Games with Gold with a value of $34 and 2,000 gamer score is Out of Space and Peaky Blinders Mastermind.
What?
Yeah, as we say every time we talk about the games with gold.
Is that like Mastermind, as in the TV show with?
That's what I'm thinking.
Peaky Blinders characters. What's the special subject? Razor blades in hats.
Razor blades and cutting people's eyes. It's Games with Gold is generally it's generally not a great service. You're basically just paying to play your Xbox online. They want you to pay that £10 price tag and get Game Pass, which is a better deal.
Yeah, for what you get with Game Pass, it's much better value, isn't it? You might as well go straight for Game Pass, in my opinion.
Yeah. So those are your games with gold this month, and then PlayStation Plus. So this comes in 3 tiers now. So you get Premium, Extra, and Essential. The regular PlayStation Plus service, which has always been $5.99 or £40 a year, $5.99 a month, always comes with a selection of games. Generally, these are better, much better, and good value for money. So PS Plus premium games for April are Meet Your Maker, which I have not heard of. Looks kind of cool. Tales of Iron, which is their indie title, and Sackboy: A Big Adventure, which is still a 50 quid game. And there's also a big PlayStation mascot as Sackboy. So there you go. Those are your 2 differences, and those are your PS Plus. There we go. I'll change it to there. PS Plus and Xbox games with gold for this month.
I know Sackboy. I saw this probably a year ago, but Big Boy Barry plays that with little lad Larry. So a nice bit of trivia for Sackboy.
Lad Larry.
Do you know? This would probably be. Yeah, because I remember Ryan getting it on PS5 as like a launch title, so I'm definitely going to pick it up because I still haven't played it. I like the little Big Planet games, so I'm quite excited to see what this one's like. Right, almost the last topic. So one but last topic. Just because I think Blunders has put it on here, and he is absolutely right to do so, because there's many things we can quickly rattle through, and that is what games are coming out in April. April is a pretty packed month from looking at release dates. So some of the games you can look at getting are for PSVR 2, if you're lucky enough to have one, Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition. So that'd be a cool boxing game. Hogwarts Legacy looks like it's coming to PS4. I thought that was already on PS4 though, so I could be wrong on that. What else have we got? Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. So for any Mega Man fans, that is definitely going to be a pickup. It's got some Horizon Forbidden West, Burning Shores DLC comes out. Minecraft Legends, yeah. Dead Island 2. I'm really looking forward to Dead Island 2.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Yes, that's going to be
April 28th. That's going to be a
huge one, because I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I like the first one. The map's a bit
weird.
Yeah,
great.
I'll probably wait till it comes a bit cheaper, to be honest.
Yeah, it does take a little bit of adjusting to that game, but I really enjoyed that first one.
Yeah, it's good. Nice easy platinum as well.
It was. You just had to be able to want to go back and stay in that universe. So it's definitely something I will go back to and do again for sure. And also Monster Hunt Rise Sunbreak, which again, I think if you're a Monster Hunter fan, that's probably going to be quite high up on your list.
Advance Wars 1 and 2 reboot has finally been released. They kept that quite off the Switch. Yeah, that film's awful. By
Yeah, I know someone in the chat when we talked about it last time said they liked it, and that's totally cool. But yeah, man, that movie. Ooh, Mike Colton there. Are you getting the Texas Chainsaw
Ghostwire Xbox?
Yes.
So it's not PlayStation anymore.
Well, Ghostwire's on Xbox now. Yeah.
It'll be on
Xbox. That was a PS exclusive for a while, wasn't it?
12th of April. 12th of April, yeah. So PlayStation loses its exclusivity on that.
Dang. Yeah, are you getting Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4K? I am. It's on pre-order. It's ready to go. It's in the bag. I just need it to ship because, I like Texas Chainsaw. It's pretty decent. Okie dokie. And then our last topic is Dorbs has managed to sell his Evercade VS.
Yay.
It's don't celebrate too much, because I did sell it last January, and the bloke said, "I want a refund." So I had to give him a refund. But yes, it's been sold. Yeah, I'm going to donate this. I've sold it for 210 on eBay, including post.
Good
So
deal.
I'm going to
Wow.
Really good
donate
deal.
that. Well, eBay with all their cuts and stuff gave me £182.50.
Mhm.
I'm going to donate that to a wonderful cancer charity for my friend who sadly passed away last August. So yeah, I'm going to donate that sale to her. Bless her.
Well, that's a very generous thing to do.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So it's hopefully gone to a good home for someone that is going to want to invest in the Evercade and enjoy everything it does, and then the money is that's a really wonderful thing to do, dude.
Yeah. Hopefully he won't send it back, but
No returns policy.
Yeah, fingers crossed it's all good, and he can do the firmware updates without it bricking. So fingers crossed. But yeah, really pleased it's gone. So
Excellent. Chaps, unless there is anything else that people want to bring up in terms of modern gaming news or anything that people have seen in the chat that they want us to go back to, we shall look to end it there.
Got one thing.
Oh, Blunus has got something.
I got one thing. That is the new Tetris film. If you can watch it, it's so good. It's like, I did not know any of this was true. Obviously, as a kid growing up, I always remember Tetris being on the Game Boy. But the amount of bullshit they had to get this game out on the Nintendo was unbelievable. If you watch the film, I watched it the other night before I started this stupid Harry Potter thing I'm doing. It's amazing. Obviously, going out to Russia, trying to get the rights to it, and they basically could get arrested and chucked in a Russian jail at any time. It's in the late 80s. It's really good little story, and at the end you see the characters, the real life people, so you actually see what happened in real life at the end of it. So and the photos, and they give you an update on what happened, and you get to see what they will actually do look like. Yeah, like Mike's put on it is so good. It is quite accurate. I didn't know anything about this, I just thought it was just a game. No bond, no, what they had to go through to get that game out, and they've made it into a film. It's supposed to be on Apple, but if you've got an internet, then borrow it. But yeah, it's brilliant. It's really good. Really good film. Caught me by surprise anyway.
Oh, definitely look into that, because I saw the trailer and thought, Taron Egerton's in a Tetris movie.
Yeah, I know. You do think, what the hell? It's good.
Yeah, no, I'm totally into that. That'd be awesome. Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining in the chat. It's been really great catching up with some of you. I know we've not done a ModCons for a little while, but we'll look to try and bring it back on a slightly more regular basis. So thank you everyone for tuning in live and keeping up to date. For anyone watching this back or finding it through the YouTube universe, and this is your first time here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It definitely means a lot to us and it helps us out. Chuck us a little cheeky thumbs up just to let us know that you've been here. And obviously any of your opinions that you want to throw into any of the topics that we've done this evening, please get them in the chat. We love chatting to you about it all as well. You can always join us on the Retro Gaming Revival Facebook group, where you can also chat to other like-minded individuals. That was my hard sell pitch for all of that stuff there. Said mostly in one breath as well. So there we go. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me, chaps. It's been lovely catching up with you all and seeing what games you're up to. We'll look to close it off there. So thank you very much, and we will see you all very soon. Good evening.
Ciao.